I'm getting ready to go to this dark academia themed party. Sock shoes. I think that these are Fiji apples. I'm not entirely sure. When I walked into the row, it said they were Fiji apples, so. So I've been consuming a lot of media lately, and I want to kind of review the recent films that I've watched. I plan to watch one more before I make this video, but I haven't gotten around to it. I may go back in and watch it tonight since I have the day off, and then review it and put it in this video. But I don't know if it's that serious yet, so maybe not. But I'm gonna be reviewing City of God, Perfect Blue, and possibly Helter Skelter. I'm not sure about Helter Skelter yet because I don't know where to watch it just yet. I think I know where I can rent it, but I need to look at it again and see how I feel because I'm a little tired and I do have work in the morning. But alright, I'll move on with my reviews. So I'm gonna start with City of God. City of God was a beautifully done movie. Cinematography, beautiful. Pacing, beautiful. The backgrounds, the stories of the transition of power between the leaders, beautiful, amazing, perfect. It's definitely high on my list now. Definitely super high on my list. I am thinking about I think Letterboxd has like your top 4 movies or so. I think I need to get into that too. So I'm a filmmaker, and I'm basically on this journey to watch more international films. So that's what this really is about. I'm just trying to hold myself accountable. And the other reason I made this channel was to like hold myself accountable, to make sure that I'm committed to doing all the adventures that I want to do, and I'm committed to having fun and living life, being myself as much as I can. So this is an accountability channel. Like an enjoyment accountability channel basically is what this is. So yeah, back to Perfect Blue and all of its beauty and wonder. Okay, so quick edit. I kept saying that the first movie I watched, sorry, my voice is like messed up. But I kept saying that the first movie I watched was called Perfect Blue, but that's the second movie. The first movie is City of God. So every time that I say Perfect Blue before I'm actually talking about every time that I say Perfect Blue during the first movie review, I'm talking about City of God. So I'm not gonna give like any big spoilers. It's been out for a long time. It came out in 2002. But just in case, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. Just in case. So, Perfect Blue. There are definitely some tearjerkers in there. Like Benny. And what happened, oh my gosh, when Shaggy was pushing the girlfriend's car. Lil Dice is, wow, what an antagonist. And nothing is funny about it. I'm like laughing in shock. Like, I was just like, whoa, like, this little kid, like, so the hold up at the motel, and they were like, oh, where's Little Dice? And then they couldn't find him. And then it's found out that the hold up was way worse than what they thought it was, because what happened at the hold up, the main members of the trio didn't do that. Lil Dice did. And then just like watching Lil Dice grow up, watching him find a way to like take over, having the background stories of how the turf war began, and who it involved, and like how the power was transferred from person to person and person over time as Rocket and Benny and everybody grew up. And oh my god, Benny, I cried for Benny. Because what do you mean? Like, it's like everybody who said, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna get out, they didn't leave. Yeah. And so like it was from the beginning it happened. Like, I think that Rocket thought that his brother was like somewhere living life, ran away, never came back. Then we find out what happened to Rocket's brother. And then it's like, oh, the last thing Shaggy sees is his girlfriend leaving. Then she reappears later on, still in the city of God. And then who else tried to leave? That's all I remember right now. I can't remember if anybody else tried to leave. I just know Benny. Yeah, Benny tried to leave. He didn't get to leave. He didn't get out. Then it was and just seeing like they really did a good job at building Lil Z's character. And there was a kind of a point in the film where I could see like that maybe there was a little regret, and that maybe he wanted a little bit more. And it wasn't like a really big portion of the film that showed him wanting kind of more than what was going on, him wanting to get out, because it started with, okay, Benny's leaving and he's pissed about that because he doesn't want his friend to leave. And at first, like, he seems like he's fine with it. And he comes to the party and he's, and then I think Benny says something about how, like, he needed a girlfriend, like, Lil Z needs a girlfriend because he's too concerned with, like, killing people. He's too concerned with violence and just the turf wars and this and that. Like, he needs to find more of a purpose in his life than just power, because it's ultimately not fulfilling. And I think when he sees that Benny, his best friend since he was like little baby, is leaving, he kind of freaks out. And so he kind of starts to like try to mess up Benny's plans and disrespecting his girlfriend and messing with people at the party. I think the man he was messing with at the party was Knockout Ned, but I'm not entirely sure. And oh my gosh, the build up to Knockout Ned joining up with Carrot, like the reasoning for why he joined up with Carrot had me in tears. Like Lil Z, like after Benny died, he just got a billion times worse. Like I feel like Benny was the only person really keeping him at a semi-tolerable level, like making sure he didn't go completely out of control with all this stuff that he was doing. And then Benny passed, and everything kind of like everything went to pieces. Everything went to pieces after Benny passed. But yeah, it was a really beautiful movie. And then I think it was even obviously like this is real life. These are real things that happen. But the characters of Lil Z and Knockout Ned were based off of real people. I can't remember. I know Lil Z's name in real life is Jose. I can't remember the full names, but I know his name is Jose. And I think Knockout Ned's name in real life is Manuel. I probably should look that up. I know it. I have it written down. It's Manuel. Is it Manuel Rocha? It might be Manuel Rocha. Yes. But anyway, at the end of the movie, we get this scene. It's not really a scene, it's a news clip. At the end of the movie, we get this news clip, and it's real life Knockout Ned. It's Manuel Rocha. And he's basically talking about how the police are only targeting him, and they're not going after Lil Z, and nobody is saying anything about what Lil Z is doing, and da 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 da. And it's revealed through Rocket's lens why that is. So I'm not gonna say anything else, but like you probably have an idea of what that means, because it's like, why would they not be targeting someone who's causing all these problems? But at some point they were like, he's not causing any problems because he keeps everything, like he keeps the break-ins like in check and this and that. Not that he was like, that Lil Z was being a good person, but like because of his control over the city of God, there were certain things that he didn't allow, and the locals respected that aspect of his control. Yeah. But yeah, it was a really good movie. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I had heard about it for a while. It had been on my list for a while. I just had never gotten around to watching it. And when I finally did get around to watching it, it was like, I didn't even read the synopsis. I was just like, okay, I need to watch it again. Because I need to start watching more international films. Like, that is my point. Accountability. So I watched City of God without watching the synopsis. And the synopsis basically says, like, that the movie is about Rocket. The movie is about Rocket and Lil Z and Knockout Ned. And Rocket taking pictures. And we don't get to see... Rocket takes pictures throughout, but because it starts from when they're little, from when, like... Because I think, like, Rocket and Benny's brothers were part of the trio. I can't remember all the names right now. I think it's, like, Goose, Shaggy... I can't remember the third one's name, but yeah. And so they all knew each other from little kids, and they all grew up together, and it kind of shows the transfers of powers throughout the years as they're getting older. And it was really interesting. It was a really captivating, beautiful film. The cinematography was wonderful. And then it kind of like, the beginning of it was like, I guess like the present, and then the film goes back, all the way back to the beginning of how everything started. And then we get back to the beginning of the movie at the present. And then it shows like the downfall of Lil Z, and they arrest him and Carrot and, oh my gosh, Otto. Otto. That was another really cool part. Because I was like, oh my gosh. And I kept thinking, okay, this little boy looks familiar. But I don't know. I thought he was just like from the neighborhood. I thought he lived in the city of God, but no. No, he was from the bank. He was from the bank. And they ran those clips back. And they were like, aha, I gotcha. Because I had no idea. I had no idea who Otto was until they ran those clips back. That was insane. I was in shock. My mouth was like, that was insane. That was really cool. That was a really cool part of the film. Yeah. So anything else to say? No, I don't think so. I just really enjoyed that movie. 10 out of 10. Really, really good. Really, really, really good. For sure would watch that again. It was great. But yeah, the other movie that I watched this month was titled Perfect Blue. And I wanted to watch Perfect Blue because people kept saying that it was like a better version of Black Swan. And they were saying like there were certain scenes that were kind of like Black Swan like. But I didn't really get that. I mean, if I had to choose between Perfect Blue and Black Swan, I would say that I did like Perfect Blue better than Black Swan. But that may be because I think maybe I wasn't able to fully grasp Black Swan. Like, okay, so to do a side-by-side comparison, if I'm thinking of how Perfect Blue is, and if I'm looking at Perfect Blue, I'm looking at Perfect Blue first, actually. So Perfect Blue touches on stalkers, mania, illusion, hallucination, things of that nature. And if I could put that in comparison with Black Swan, I guess she's, you know what? I'm actually not sure. I'm actually, to this day, I'm still not entirely sure. Maybe I need to read some Reddit posts or whatever. I need to look it up online, like, because I'm actually, and this is a little embarrassing, I actually didn't watch Black Swan until I think like last year. I guess I was just like never really interested in watching Black Swan until last year, but I watched it last year and I watched it again before I saw Perfect Blue because people kept comparing the two movies. And I think where I'm confused with Black Swan, and I'm not confused in the same way, because Perfect Blue made sense. Like I understood what happened in Perfect Blue with Mima. Like I understood that there was blending of worlds because Mima was an actor. Her stalkers had this online account of her diary, pretending to be her and writing out her thoughts and her feelings. So that kind of like drove her a little bit crazy. And then she was also hallucinating. So there were three things at play. And when it was revealed, like in Perfect Blue, it's revealed that like, well, I'm not gonna reveal like the other person, but one of the people that I could kind of tell he was gonna be a problem from the very beginning of the film was Mr. Romania. And Mr. Romania was one of the security guards from when Mima was a pop star. And I could kind of tell that he had something to do with what was going on. Now, in the other movie, in Black Swan, I think I'm still confused, and I think I need to watch Black Swan again. Because I can't remember her name either, but the main character in Black Swan, she wants this solo. Like she wants to be the Black Swan. She needs to embody the Black Swan. But her dancing is like, I think, too delicate. So she was good enough for the White Swan, but the Black Swan, like the director, I believe, wanted to give it to Mila Kunis. What Mila Kunis's name was, I don't remember. And so, is it Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis? I believe so. I believe it was Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis. Yes. So I can't figure out if Natalie Portman's character and Mila Kunis's character, like, I couldn't figure out if Natalie Portman's character was hallucinating everything that happened with Mila Kunis's character. And I'm not talking about the end with the black swan and the white swan on the day of the performance. I'm not talking about that, because that was a hallucination. I'm talking about when they were partying and after the party, and how Natalie Portman was late to rehearsal. And I'm talking about how it felt like the director, the man, and Mila Kunis were kind of working against Natalie Portman in secret, like trying to make her go crazy. But it's like, I didn't really trust Natalie Portman at times, because I'm like, is she hallucinating? Or are they actually plotting against her? The end, she was hallucinating, which is why there was nobody in the closet. And I understood that part. Perfect Blue, like, everything made sense to me at the end. Black Swan, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna have to watch it a few more times. I don't know, or read about it somewhere online. Yes. And the third film that I'm gonna watch, I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna come back and talk about it or not. That film was called Helter Skelter. I have to figure out how to rent it and everything. So once I figure out how to rent it, I probably will do a little review on it, or maybe I'll wait to the next one. I don't know. I have a couple things that I need to get done, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to watch it and then think about it critically tonight. But yeah, Helter Skelter is next on my list. Thank you.
I'm still literally putting on tattoos on my body.